You're locked into Hits 92.3. The views, stories, and opinions shared on this program belong solely to the host and their guests. They do not represent the views of Hits 92.3 Radio, management, staff, partners, advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. And if you don't know what any of that means, listener discretion is advised. Now sit back, turn up your volumes, and enjoy the content from one of the greatest, dopest radio personalities to ever touch this microphone in 3, 2, 1.
Yes. Welcome all to the King Raphael Show. Hey, I got a powerful one for you today. Y'all better get these gems. I'm telling you, we're going to go inside the mind and dig them out, y'all. I got some principles. I got some real game for you today. I'm about to break down the system. I'm about to expose the system that we live in. It's crazy, y'all. So today's topic is working is keeping you broke. The rat race was designed this way. Yes, I said it. Working is keeping you broke. I know you like Houseway. How is working keeping me broke? Ain't that what's bringing me money? Hey, it's also taking your energy. So we about to get into it. You always remember this is the King Raphael Show, where elevation is the expectation. And of course, I am King Raphael. And for those who can truly grasp what I'm about to tell you today, you're going to be light years in front of your peers for tomorrow. Because today, I'm going to expose the trap that most Americans are trained to live in. I mean, we wake up in the morning, right? And for most of us, I hope we saying our prayers, talking to God, right? Giving him the first of your fruits, right? Which is your mind and your attention. And then after we get up, we do our hygienes, we shower, we do all this stuff. What do? We go to work. Okay. Then we go to work. We go to work, we pay bills, come back home, eat a meal, spend time with our family. Then we go to sleep, wake up, get dressed, go to work, pay some bills, come back, fight traffic, rinse, wash, and repeat. We do this day in and day out. And somewhere along the way, people stop living and start surviving. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm here. Let me give you a warning. Right now, most people are giving their best energy to their worst opportunities. Think about the average day when you wake up after a long day the day before. When you wake up, you're still tired. Your battery is not fully recharged. Then you drag yourself to work where you generally don't want to be. And I gave a statistic a couple of weeks ago that Monday mornings are statistically the highest for heart attacks. And you wonder why. Because we know of the work week that's ahead of us, the stress, the ball and chain, right? The prison that we build for ourselves, that we go back to every single day. And it's the same thing a lot of times if it's school, right? Learning subjects that you're really not interested in, or subjects that are really not going to be practical in the world you actually live in. Where's the class on credit? Credit is tearing us up. Where's that class at? Right? Where's the leadership class at? Where's how to buy a house? Where's that class at in school? I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here. But I'm just saying, the system is right in front of our face, and it's so obvious what's being done. It's crazy that more of us don't wake up, because what's happening is it's mentally exhausting us. See, then when you get to work, the system starts draining you. Your job starts draining you. Your boss starts riding you, right? And what that does is it takes your focus. It also takes your creativity. It takes your peace. It takes your patience. And it takes your energy. It's an energy vampire. I'm talking about hour after hour, drop after drop. We are giving away our life force energy for minimum wage, for crumbs on the dollar. while the companies we work for make record profits, pocketing $1 million quarters, while we get paid the penny for the value we bring to them. And then when you finally get home, now it's time to build your dream, right? Because you don't want to be working forever. It's time to build your dream. But the problem is there's nothing left. You've given it all to your work. You've given it all to traffic. You've given it all to dealing with customers and dealing with people, and there's nothing left for you and your job. You see, the dangerous part is that most people think that happens accidentally. The system benefits from your exhaustion. Then you pay just enough. They pay you just enough to keep you from quitting, but not enough to truly get ahead. You see, this is why your bills are due every 30 days. I see you, Priska Outland, 100%. Totally agree. That's facts, right? See, they keep things on your head. They stay on top of you. Just think about it. You give your best hours to your job, your sharpest thinking to your job, your best energy to your job. But what about your dream? What about it? Oh, now you don't have the time, right? You see, your dream gets your leftovers. Your business gets your exhaustion. Your children gets your stress. And your purpose gets postponed. And many people spend their entire life standing behind this mule, just waiting to be kicked and kicked over again. And then people have the audacity to wonder, why am I stuck? Why I seem to just can't get ahead in life? If it ain't one thing, it's another, right? How many of y'all have said that? I know I have. Sometimes it seems like we just can't dig out the ditch, that we're constantly trapped in a hole. And let me tell you something, it's because you cannot build an empire on fumes. The system is designed that way. They got you. That's why they call you stuck in the matrix, right? Let me give y'all some numbers. You know why? Because I heard Jay-Z say men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. So according to the Economic Policy Institute, since 1979, worker productivity in America increased over 80%, but worker pay only increased about 25 to 30%. Think about that. Americans are producing more value than ever before, but they're not receiving the same increase in compensation. In other words, the worker becomes more productive, but not more free. And according to surveys from Bank of America, around 60% of Americans report living from paycheck to paycheck. Even people making $100,000 a year feel the same financial pressure. But why? It's because the cost of survival is rising faster than wages. Everything is on the increase. Your housing. And for those of us who live in Atlanta, oh, we know about housing. Atlanta is one of the most expensive rental markets in this nation. It ain't no thing to pay $2,500 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Renting it, still don't own it. Our insurance is increasing. Our health care is increasing. The price of foods and goods are increasing. To get an education is increasing. And you know what else is increasing? Because I filled up today at the pump and I was like, dang, I'm putting $80 in a car. Gas is increasing. And they want to blame that on a war. But then we go kidnap a whole president to get more. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Listen, y'all. Have you seen what's going on in this world? I'm telling you, there's a silent war against us with silent weapons. You don't see it, but your pockets feel it. You see, this is why making 6 figures today doesn't even feel like the middle class anymore. And here's the part that everybody should wake up. You see, the federal minimum wage in America is still $7.25 an hour, and that has not changed since 2009. Process that. Meanwhile, while everything else has changed and increased, the price of minimum wage has not. So you mean to tell me in America, we got to wake up every single morning and we got to fight traffic, this crazy traffic that we're in, that we give an hour going and an hour coming. That's 2 hours out of our day. And we deal with stress every single day. We go to a job every single day that we don't want to be at. And then we give our lives away hour after hour just to be paid minimum wage, just to be paid the scraps of this society. And if you're getting paid more than minimum wage, I guess what? You're making your company more money and you're still getting underpaid. You're still getting played. But we can do better. Because knowledge is key to break out of this prison matrix that we are in. And the problem is for minimum wage people who are only earning $7.25 an hour, they just barely can afford a hamburger. You can't even get an extra value meal these days for $7.25. So you mean to tell me I got to give 1 hour of my life just to buy a hamburger, and that hour is gone forever, and after taxes, I don't even have enough to pay for a whole value meal? Sunshine, can you bring up that image of the hamburger? I just gotta show this. I gotta jump into that one. So people keep grinding, not to build wealth, but to become free. Do y'all see this image I got together for y'all? Which shows you at the top of the screen that the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, which is unchanged since 2009. 1 hour of your life just to buy a hamburger. Now, prices may vary depending on where you go. Some of you like to go to In-N-Out, right? Some of you like the value meal at Wendy's. It just depends on where you go. But it takes an average person 1 hour of their life just to buy a hamburger in this country. That is some bull. See, we're not living, we're not building wealth, we're not becoming free. We're just surviving week after week. And if you can hear it in my tone, I'm not happy about it because I represent you, because I know you're not happy about it. We feel the pain. The rich feel the pain as well. So I'm telling y'all, something has to change. You see, my people, the painful answer is this. Maybe the system never intended you to build wealth. Have you ever thought about that? I'm going to let y'all think about that. We're going to take this commercial break. Think about what I just said. We're going to come back to you in a moment. You're listening to the King Raphael Show. Elevation is the expectation. It's time to rise above this mess.
Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right. You could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.
Hi, I'm Professor G, the Airbnb King. When I first started my Airbnb business in 2019, I made a lot of mistakes. I really needed a mentor, but one mistake I didn't make was giving up. And since I didn't give up, 18 months later, I cleared my first six-figure income, which allowed me to quit my lucrative job as being a college professor at Spelman College and do this full time, and I never looked back. Since then, I've acquired properties in Atlanta, such as downtown, Midtown, Buckhead, even moved over to the West End, became the Airbnb King, got more confidence, started buying properties in Miami, ever since then, I knew skies was the limit and Monopoly was the game for me. So believe in yourself. You will and you can win at this game. Book with the Airbnb King. We're gonna make some silent moves, but loud results. Welcome back. You're watching the hottest show in the planet. I always hear radio DJs saying that, so I just wanted to say it. But this is the King Raphael Show, where elevation is the expectation. I expect you to rise. I expect you to go up. That's why we're teaching each other, because iron sharpens iron. And right now we're gonna kind of go into why hard work alone will never make you wealthy, and how the wealthy, they learn to escape this trap, this treadmill that we're all on. Let me share a story. Let's call this guy Marcus, right? Now, imagine a guy named Marcus back in 2005. Now, Marcus, he graduated from high school. He got a warehouse job making $15 an hour. Back then, rent was manageable. Groceries were affordable. Gas was cheap not to stress over. Marcus wasn't rich, but he could breathe. Now, fast forward to 2026. Marcus stayed loyal to the company for 20 years, worked overtime, never complained, and showed up consistently. Now he makes $24 an hour. Sounds like progress, right? Wrong. Because now rent tripled, groceries exploded, insurance doubled, healthcare skyrocketed. And despite making more money, Marcus somehow feels poor. But why? Because the treadmill sped up faster than his paycheck. Now, I remember being, back around 2005, my rent, no cap, was like $700. I remember back then, gas was $200. Tell me all of these things haven't doubled and tripled since then. So you can always understand the situation that Marcus is in. So now Marcus has to work overtime. He starts side hustles, uses credit cards to survive. Not because he's lazy, because inflation outran his labor. And that's when Marcus finally realized that he'll never was taught how to build wealth. He was only taught how to survive. And I teach this to my daughter, even at 10 years old. I teach her that if you keep your money in a bank sitting still, the value of that dollar, you're losing its value because of inflation, because the price of goods and services are increasing every year. But a lot of times, what they're putting in doesn't add up to it. So it's really rough out here, y'all. Inflation is something serious. You got to make more money. Now, energy. I want to talk to you about your energy, which is the currency of the universe. Energy is really more valuable than time in a way. And I'm not taking nothing away from time, because time is the most priceless gift that God gives you. But let me tell you this, your greatest asset is your energy. Because you can have all the free time that you want, but still, if you're mentally drained to build anything meaningful, what good is your time? Successful people protect their energy like it's gold. They protect their mornings, protect their focus, and protect their peace. You see, one of the reasons I've come to grown to that understanding. So I don't schedule meetings in the morning if I don't have to, unless it's directly going to make me some money. We can't talk. We can't really talk in the morning. If I give you my morning times, it's very important, or you're somebody special. I protect my mornings because my mornings are sacred. My mornings are time for me to get my day together, to meditate, to visualize, to talk to God, to me to get instructions from the headquarters. But I don't have time to be listening to what other people are saying in my ear. I don't have time to be scrolling through Instagram, listening to what it's saying, taking in all those downloads. You see, so I protect my mornings. You have to protect your mornings and protect your energy. You see, everybody does not deserve access to your energy. Everybody does not deserve a front row seat to your progress. Some people only show up just to distract you from your purpose. Did you know that? Did you know you got some friends in your life that are only there to distract you, are only there to deter you because they are on assignment from the enemy? And you just don't know it because you don't have enough spiritual discernment because you haven't been quiet enough. And if only you knew God's plan in your life, you would move differently. Only if you knew. You see, only if you knew who you were, how special you were, how blessed you were, how mentally capable you are. You see, the devil is attacking you. The devil's coming up against you because he knows, but you don't know. But I'm going to tell you what I know. The devil can't defeat you because you're that powerful. He cannot destroy you because you're that strong. He can only distract you. This is why you got to guard your moment, guard your time, guard your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Fight for it and fight against anybody who is trying to take you against your purpose. You hear? It's getting hot in here. Fight against anybody who's trying to remove you from the plan that God has for you. If it doesn't align with what you're supposed to be doing, you're doing the wrong thing. So once you start to take on a different mentality in this life, you got to flip it. You see, everything you've learned in school was the opposite. Everything we've been learning in this life is opposite. That's all I'm going to say without going into a rant about that. But here's what changes everything when you flip the equation. You give your dream the best energy. Wake up earlier if you have to. So build before you go to work. Think before you go to work. Create your future and your kingdom and your queendom before you go to work. And then you give the system what's left. You give your job what's left. You give people that don't deserve to be around you in the first place what's left. But you give your future and your goals and your dreams your absolute best. The first thing in the morning. Don't get that to your job because that's what's happening. Because you already give yourself the best. You know what? Most people won't even do this. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Why? Because it takes discipline. And comfort today often creates suffering tomorrow. If you don't believe me, keep sitting on your couch ordering from Grubhub. You will see. Let me share with you some financial principles that they never taught you in school, but probably should have. It's one of the reasons why the poor stay poor. And I'm going to say this. As an African parable, you got to understand it. The lion can never teach the gazelle how to get away. Think about that. That's why you were never taught these principles I'm about to share with you. Principle 1. Hard work does not create wealth. I'm going to say that again. Hard work does not create wealth. Think about that. Let's think about a hotel. For those who don't know, I'm a minority hotel owner. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing Airbnb for years if you just saw the commercial. Who works the hardest in a hotel? Think about it. Is it the manager? Is it the person at the front desk? Nope. That's right. House cleaner. House cleaning. Sunshine, no. House cleaning. They work the hardest. But you know what the truth is? They usually get paid the least. But why is that? How can someone work the hardest and get paid the least? It's because money follows scarcity and leverage, not effort alone. You see, the law of scarcity says the less available something is, the more valuable it becomes. That's why your skills matter. Y'all get that? If anybody can replace you tomorrow, your income has a ceiling. But when your knowledge becomes rare, your value rises. You see, if that house cleaner quits, they'll be replaced tomorrow by somebody else who can do that skill. But it's harder when your manager quits, when your GM quits, right? They're harder to replace because a lot of times they build value or they have some skills that are very intangible. So make your hours more valuable, not necessarily working harder in your hours. Y'all get that? We about to break this stuff down, y'all. Principle number 2. The wealthy use other people's time. That's how they get you. The wealthy use other people's time. The people at the top don't necessarily outwork everybody else. They outthink everybody else. And they build systems that allow money to move without their consistent presence. I think some of y'all missed it, so I'm going to say that again. The people at the top, they don't necessarily outwork everybody else. They're not up there working hard. They outthink everybody else. And then they put everybody else to work. That's how this system works. That's how it works, y'all. So you get your skills up, get your education up, rise to the top. Don't be at the bottom, right? That's why when you look at a pyramid, the base is crowded at the bottom. But the higher you go, the less space it is. And up at the top, it's only one eye. Principle number 3. Stop trading hours for dollars. That's the one secret of the rich, I can promise you. I stopped trading dollars for hours long ago once I retired from Spelman College. After 10 years, after doing 1 year of Airbnb, and that changed my life and turned the trajectory of it and got me into real estate. At that point, I became free. And I stopped trading my time for dollars because the people that's giving you the dollars control how much you make and how much your value is. But when you work for yourself, when you hustle hard yourself, you set your cap. Your expertise shows how much you can make, right? So don't measure productivity by hours worked. Measure productivity by value created. One great idea can outperform 10 years of labor. I'm telling you, just look at certain inventions, simple inventions like the George Foreman. You know how much that machine is making George Foreman all these decades later? One idea, one great idea can outperform 10 years of labor. So I'm telling you to use your mind, think smarter, not work harder. The next principle, protect your mind. You got to protect your mind. If you're too busy constantly working, you're too busy to think. Y'all get that? And thinking is where breakthroughs are born. I heard Warren Buffett say, I don't schedule, you look at my itinerary, you would think me having all this money and I have a busy schedule. I don't. You will look at it, there's openings. I have openings on my schedule for time to read. I have time on my schedule to think because he knows that's where the wealth is formulated. You see, because when you're working hard, you're stressed out even more. And then you thinking about the job or you thinking about what your manager told you to do. So you're following instructions from someone else. And sometimes that's okay. I'm not telling you don't work your job or quit. But what I am telling you is you need to be doing something that you're passionate about. You need to be somewhere where you're happy being because your stress levels lower when you're happy, or you operate better when you're operating in your passion. You see, birds don't lose energy flying because that's their purpose. They gain energy flying. Fish gain more energy swimming because they're operating in their purpose. So if you're working a job or a career, please, I hope that is something that you like to do because your energy levels depend on it. You have an energetic body. And when your energy levels and your energetic body decrease, that's when your health decreases and you're more sustainable to catch things because your electromagnetic field is what protects you. It's one of the things that protects you. Hope I ain't going too deep, but that's also a part of your mind. Your mind creates your field. Your mind creates your aura. One of my mantras is I never have a bad day. I don't care what's going on in my life. I never have a bad day. Today could be considered a bad day, but it's not. I'm trying to think about how transparent I want to be with y'all. Not a bad day. I'll share this. I don't know who all listening. I'll share this quickly with y'all. Okay, so there was an opportunity in the special election to run for Congressman Scott's seat. So I was going to run for District 13. So I had my money together, everything together, got ready to, but I prayed first. I said, God, if this ain't the thing for me to do, you let me know, God. Let me know. Give me a sign. And when I walked up in that election office today, this morning, there was a guy sitting there. He said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm good. Now he's sitting in the hallway having a regular conversation. He just regularly start talking to me. He's like, are you qualified? I said, yes, God qualified me. Right. But to make a long story short, what I found out was even if I was to win this special election, I thought I could rerun as an incumbent because the special election is to fill a past congressman's seat, and his seat is only vacant, was the special election was for the rest of his time. And I thought I would be able to rerun as an incumbent. That would qualify me. But come to find out, that would only put me on the write-in ballot, but not on the ballot because the primaries is what qualified the people. This can be considered a bad day because I was visualizing that being Congressman Gentry. Right? It's been on my vision board since 2017. I'm probably telling too much right now. But it's still not a good day. I've been protected. See, there's no such thing as a bad day because everything in your life happens for a reason. Every single thing. So you count it all joy. The good and the bad, because even the bad is making you. The bad is a part of the process. There cannot be no day if there wasn't no night, right? That's why seeds are planted in the ground. They're planted in darkness. They're at the deepest, darkest parts before they grow out. So it's going to be some dark days in your life. There's some storms coming. There's only two parts of your life. You either going in a storm or you just came out of one. So protect your mind and count it all joy, no matter what you go through, no matter what situation you're in, whether if you're in a job or a career or you're an entrepreneur and you love your job or your career or you hate your job or your career. You better train your mind to make it all good until you rise out this situation. That is why you speak what you want to see until you see what you said. Say what it is. Speak life into your life, y'all. Next principle, build assets. Build assets. And I learned this. When I learned this, it was a game changer. And it's simple. Assets equal income. Very simple formula to remember. Assets equal income. If you want more income, own more assets. You see, the way this system is played is to reward owners. It's not to reward the regular working person that's working their butt off. This system is rigged against you. It is to benefit owners. It is to benefit their shareholders of the companies, not the average man. So you got to build assets. And an asset puts money in your pocket while you're asleep. This is the principle I teach my daughter. Assets earn income while you are asleep, and liabilities take money out of your pocket while you are asleep. Like that new car, right, that you bought. See, without cash flow attached to it, it's a liability. Why is it a liability? Because you have to pay insurance, you have a car note, right? You got maintenance to that car, and we're not going to even talk about gas. It is a liability. But remember, I said we got to flip everything. You can flip that liability into an asset if you start Uber Eats, if you start DoorDash, if you start doing Lyft, right? Turo, renting out your car. These things, flip it. And now you have a business vehicle. See, we have to start thinking business minded. We have to be more asset minded, right? So now your car becomes an asset if you flip it like that. The same thing with your house. Let's look at your house. Different mindset, right? The house. When you look at your house, y'all, it's the same thing. Many of us think that our house is an asset. And yeah, it can be because we feel like we have value in our house. Only it's an asset if you got a lot of equity in it, and then you have to pull the equity as far as refinancing for it to become an asset. But until then, oh, it's a liability. Why is that? Because you have a mortgage, you have home insurance, you have property taxes, you have lawn care service, right? And forbid an emergency happens, forbid an appliance goes out, something else happens. Y'all see what I'm saying? Your house is a liability because it's taking money out of your pocket every single day. Now, you got to flip it. Let me tell you how I flipped mine. I have a house off of South Fulton, off of Oriole Drive. Feel free to book with the king, y'all, if you want. Let's show a picture of my house if you don't mind. If y'all ever need it, you can book it. Now, let me tell you what my mortgage is every month on this house, since I'm being so dang transparent with y'all. My mortgage is only $2,400 a month. Now, remember, I told you I had an apartment. I had multiple apartments where I was paying $2,500 a month. And when I was done with those apartments, after years of paying into them, I didn't own no equity in those apartments. But I own that house, and every year it's building equity. Now, can you pull up the next image that I have? Let me show you how I turn that liability into an asset. Now, remember, if y'all like that house, you can book with the king. Y'all see my information at the bottom. You can email me at the King Raphael Show at gmail.com. That's the King Raphael Show at gmail.com if you would like to rent that property. Now, this is a current guest that I have. Look at the top where it says current stay, May 10th through 18th. They are currently there right now. They put on there that they're going to have 8 adults. My payout was $2,500. And you see that $2,579. That was my payout. Now they pay VRBO even more, right? Over $3,000 because VRBO took almost $1,000 from this booking. So if you can have the bookings, get the bookings offline, or create your own digital product and website and have it professional, like I have at guestbookings.com, feel free to go to that. Then you can get all of the money. But I'm still getting paid $2,579. That one guest staying for 8 nights paid more than my mortgage. Now I have turned my liability into an asset. And this is how we have to think, y'all. Now I can do what I want to do with the remaining 22 nights in that month. If I want to stay there, the mortgage is already paid. I can just go and live there now for the rest of the 22 nights. Or I can rent it out and make more money, more money, more money. This is how life is set up to favor the owners. And it's here to punish the workers, unfortunately. I'm just giving y'all truth, and I'm showing it to you what's real. Y'all, when we come back, we're going to continue to talk about how ownership changes everything and some principles that you can live by. You're watching the King Raphael Show. Elevation is the expectation. Hey, have you ever been at work on a Monday morning behind your desk wondering, what am I doing with my life? Well, I wanted that same question as well. So what I did was I created a business around the lifestyle that I truly wanted. And for me, that's really about travel. So I wanted to make the beach my office, and that's exactly what I did. I can work from anywhere around the world with my customizable Airbnb business. So let me show you how to do it for yourself. So let me help you create an Airbnb business that will sustain you for the rest of your life and sustain your children, right? Let me show you how to automate your business so that it's on cruise control. Let me show you how to fly under the radar if you need. I can also teach you how to get Airbnb properties with no money down. Yes, no money down. See, many people don't think that they can get in business because they don't think that they have the funds. But you really don't need it. What's more important is the information. So join the workshop. I have a team of super hosts that will be right there that will help you start your listing the same day. Now that's powerful. All right, so we're giving out the information. So come to the workshop, click the link below, or DM me, and I can provide you all the information. Everybody, you're back tuned in to the King Raphael Show, and this has been a powerful show as we talk about some of the reasons why working is making us broke, why we are constantly stuck in this rat race and can't get out. Sometimes it feels like we're on an escalator and we just walk into the top, trying to get to the top and get off the escalator, but the escalator is going down against us. The escalator is working against us. So we start walking faster. Then the escalator starts going down faster. Then we start jogging. The escalator keeps going faster. After a while, we get stuck on this escalator. And some of us give up and just go all the way back down. Or some of us just stay on there, always running or walking or jogging. While it's increasing, we're decreasing. It's continuously taking our energy. This is why we have to, y'all. We have to make money while we sleep. We have to understand the difference between assets and liabilities. You see, you know, money is a very hard worker. Money will work for you 24 hours a day. You can't outwork money. This is why you got to let your money work for you. You can't let you simply cannot let your time work for you. You cannot beat money. You can't outwork money. I teach this to my daughter. Don't let your money sit stagnant at home. Send it outside the house. Let it meet some new friends, right? Let it make some friends and new people, right? And bring them back home. Bring new people back home. You see, it's a reason why they call it cash flow, because the cash flows up on the banks. The banks, y'all get all of that. But it's cash flow because still water runs dry. Have y'all ever heard that? That still water runs dry? Water will evaporate. Okay? If you put it in a pool, it will evaporate. I promise you that. Right? But flowing water will never grow stale, will never evaporate. That is why you have to have multiple income streams. Now, a lot of people only want to focus on one thing, and that one thing is what they're good at. But if that's not enough to pay the bills, then you got to open it up. You got to figure out other ways to make money while you sleep. You see, if you own a stock portfolio, that's your money working for you, right? When you wake up, you might even be at work working, but your money is working on those stocks, increasing or maybe sometimes decreasing. But a lot of times, if you pick the right positions, it is an asset that will make money. That house that I showed you, let me tell you how I got the money for the down payment. I invested money into the stock market. I invested into the stock market. And when I got my credit score right and it was time to purchase that house, the down payment, I was able to use and show my portfolio. I showed my stock portfolio to my mortgage company and said, this is what I'm going to use to pay. And when it was time to close, I liquidated my stocks, right? That had grew for me. That money had created enough money to pay my down payment on my first investment property of many, right? So your money has to work for you. Now, if you put it in investment properties and rent properties out, your money will work for you. If you start a business and let the business work while you sleep and hire people who are smarter than you and hire others to give their time so that you're not giving all of your energy so that you can spend time with your family, then that's how this life works, right? And you don't have to be the smartest person in the world. I wasn't, right? So for myself, I've been so transparent. Let me go ahead and tell you, I graduated from high school with a 1.7 GPA. But look at me now. Oh, see, it ain't where you start, it's about where you finish. But when I finished with my master's, I had a 3.4, right? And now I currently have a A average as I'm working on my dissertation. Oh, I've been telling y'all a lot, which I will receive in 2026. I've been telling y'all too much. But I'm just so adamant right now. See, I went to a lot of different high schools. I got into a lot of trouble, y'all. I went through the ringer. But now that I understand it was a process for me, that process for me allowed me to later in life see a vision that many don't see, to reach goals that many don't get a chance to reach, to find strategies and apply them. And when you do something and learn it, you teach it. And that's why I'm here teaching. And if you want to join my academy, please email me. I have a B&B, a wealth academy. Email me at the King Raphael Show. That's King Raphael, Raphael show @gmail.com. If you want to be a member of the B&B Wealth Academy. It is a digital product that will take you through 6 weeks of learning lessons that I've learned. I'm there with videos teaching you. I'm there to coach you and get you to the next level, because once you learn something, you do it. And when you do it, you teach others. And that's called community, common unity. I don't just want to be the only one winning with a whole bunch of small, selected few people that's winning. I want all of us to win, because I know the truth. And the truth is, the majority of this wealth in our society is only held by 1% of the population. The remaining 50% is held by the middle class. But the majority of the wealth is only held by 1%. And those are the people who can see vision and have other people work for their vision. Let me leave you with this story. There are 2 men standing beside a well. One man looked down into the water. He saw only enough water to survive for that one day. Now, the second man, he looked at the same well and he saw irrigation for crops. He saw ownership. He saw land. He saw what it would do for his crops. He saw generational wealth, and they were both looking at the same well, but different mindsets. And that's the difference between survival thinking and ownership thinking. Most people spend their life carrying buckets, but wealthy people build pipelines. One carries water every day. The other creates a system where water flows continuously. That's what assets do. That's what ownership does. That's what purpose does. So stop asking, how many hours must I work? And start asking, how can I build something that works without me? How can I build something that makes money when I sleep? Because you are not created to merely survive. You were created to thrive. You were created to build. God made you to lead. He made you to create. He made you to multiply. And remember this, I know that I'm talking to plenty of future CEOs out there. Right now, I know I'm talking to plenty of future billionaires right now. Imagine what God can do with you with a Christian mindset of $1 billion in your pocket. What will you do to change this world, to make it better? So CEOs, they build once and get paid forever. Remember, you're listening to the King Raphael Show. Remember to keep your faith higher than your fear and your purpose stronger than your pain, and leave no room for the devil, because he doesn't belong in your house. So until then, until we elevate together, I'm King Raphael. Stay blessed and stay smooth.
Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right, you could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.